Hi, my name is Joe Shannon. My law firm, Shannon Law Group, helps people that have been injured and also have been killed in wrongful death cases. So what that involves is us getting involved to help you recover any damages that you incurred as a result of the loss of your loved one. So what type of wrongful death cases are there? Well, let's talk about one of the most common, vehicle crashes. According to the Illinois Department of Transportation, there was over 1,000 wrongful death crashes in Illinois in 2019. That's 1,000. That's a lot of people. So in those types of cases, for example, if there was a truck crash, who would be responsible? Well, the truck driver would be responsible. But also what we would do is follow who was directing them or who was the principal in the transaction. Some time ago, our law firm had a case in which a driver from a small trucking company crashed into stop traffic, killed 2 people, and permanently disabled a 30-year-old man. We handled that case against that small trucking company and that driver, but we also came up with a theory that the one that was actually directing the case, the one that was actually receiving most of the money for the load, the one that was directing the driver and was the actual principal in the transaction, was a broker, was a food broker. That broker controlled the transaction, controlled the driver, and we convinced a court, a judge, a jury, and the appellate courts that that broker should have been liable, just like any sort of corporation who directed an agent. And in that case, the jury rendered a verdict against the broker, who denied any sort of agency, denied any sort of responsibility, and evaded that responsibility for years. They appealed that all the way to the Illinois Supreme Court, and the Illinois Supreme Court affirmed the appellate court, which found that the driver was responsible, the trucking company was responsible, as well as the food broker was responsible for it as well. So that case is called Talek versus C.H. Robinson. You can look it up. Our firm handled that case, and it set precedent against this broker because it's a different type of arrangements nowadays. The ones that are in charge of these massive logistics are a lot of times logistic companies who direct, supervise, fine, and manipulate drivers throughout the country. If you are the principal, if you are the one that controls the driver, you are also responsible for that driver's activities. This is also starting to become an issue in hired driver type of cases, or Uber or Lyft types of cases. Who is responsible in those types of cases? A lot of these times, the companies will say that these drivers are called what they call independent contractors. Well, in Illinois, it may surprise you, is Illinois independent contractors can also be agents for big companies like Lyft or Uber. So how do you figure that out? Well, you must take a look at the documents, you must take a look at the law, you must take a look at the situation to see exactly who was directing who at the time of the crash. These are all very interesting issues in Illinois vehicle crash cases. What other type of wrongful death cases are there? Well, every now and then there is negligence or recklessness outside of an automobile crash type case. Say, for example, a workplace injury. Folks die on the job either through a traumatic event, some sort of exposure to a bad product like asbestos, mesothelioma type of cases. And in those cases, there is also a wrongful death act that applies to those types of cases too. We've handled cases for victims of mesothelioma where the injured worker has a claim not only against their employer for under the Industrial Act, but also against all the manufacturers' products that he or she was exposed to during that time. So mesothelioma cases can have a wrongful death component as well as a survival act component. Let's talk about the survival act a little bit. The survival act applies to somebody, say they were involved, they were exposed to asbestos containing products, and they were diagnosed with mesothelioma. The pain and suffering, the loss of a normal life, the disfigurement, the wage loss, and the medical bills incurred from the time of the injury until the time of their death is recovered in a survival act claim. That is usually combined with a wrongful death claim after the person passes away. And on the wrongful death act, that is a cause of action for the next of kin or surviving spouse. So it can be in a workplace type injury setting as well. Sometimes there's negligence or recklessness in the medical setting, and that's rare. Most of the time, doctors and hospital and medical care providers provide excellent care. Sometimes there's an aberration and there's been some sort of medical malpractice, medical negligence, and as a result, somebody passes away. The next of kin will have a cause of action against that medical care provider or hospital or medical company for their negligence of themselves, their institutional negligence, or against their agent. In those types of cases, in Illinois, in order for you to file a medical negligence case against a healthcare provider, the lawyer needs to hire an expert to review all the medical records and sign an affidavit that says that that medical care provider or hospital or other professional was negligent, but not only that they were negligent, but that negligence caused a real injury in the person. And so those are the type of prongs that a person needs to hit if they're going to file a medical negligence case in Illinois. In my experience, medical negligence cases are rarely filed, and they are very difficult to win. And so you want to make sure that you hire a law firm that understands medical negligence issues and understands how to get results. And if we can't help you, we know some of the best firms that handle these types of cases. In this type of case, we've helped out a number of people recover in these types of cases, and we're more than willing to sit down with you and discuss your case directly. If you want to reach out to us, you can reach us at 312-578-9501. Or if you'd like to just email us, you can email me at joseph@shannonlawgroup.com or text me directly at 312-847-2428. That's 312-847-2428. Our firm has handled a number of these wrongful death cases. We've handled them to verdict, and we've handled them on all different stages, from settlement to trial to verdict to appeal. And we're more than willing to help you in your case as well.